I know a fat old policeman, he's always on our street. A fat and jolly red-faced man, he really is a treat. He's too kind for a policeman, he's never known to frown. And everybody says he is the happiest man in town. He laughs upon point duty, he laughs upon his beat. He laughs at everybody when he's walking in the street. He never can stop laughing, he says he's never tried. But once he did arrest a man and laughed until he cried. His jolly face it wrinkled, and then he shut his eyes. He opened his great mouth, it was a wondrous size. He said, I must arrest you, he didn't know what for. And then he started laughing until he cracked his jaw. So if you chance to meet him when walking round the town, just shake him by his fat old hand and give him half a crown. His eyes will beam and sparkle, he'll gurgle with delight, and then you'll start him laughing with all his blessed might.
Oh, hello, good afternoon. How the devil are you? Right, I thought I'd come and talk to us today about the whole police thing. Like every now and again, someone's like, I've got some brand new information for you. And the brand new information is old information. I want to just tell you just how old it is, because I think we've all been asleep for quite a long time, not really understanding that the likes of Stephen Whittle, David Lammy, a load of trans activists, very well connected, very well funded, weirdly well respected trans activists have been working very, very, very hard behind the scenes to make it incredibly difficult for us now, retrospectively, to go back and undo the damage they've done. Now, it's been proposed by Sex Matters this morning, a pre-action letter. I'm just gonna say it. No more court cases unless they're direct kind of suing somebody for discrimination. No more judicial reviews. Do you know who makes money out of judicial reviews? Lawyers. Do you know who loses money? All of us. And do you know how much we benefit from it? Not very much at all. I think there's a court case going on about like saying what the word woman is in law. Like, fuck off. No more of this. This is just people up here in the upper echelons of society having little theoretical chats about the impact that it has on us. And I think all we need to do is we need to find a brave woman who we can get behind to sue the arse out of the police. Just one woman who's searched by one of these men. Just one woman who's in the NHS being chaperoned by one of these men. Like, that's a court case I could get behind. The rest of it, no, it's just a load of people feeling important. It's ridiculous. Why would anyone want to spend £500,000 at least on cases that make no difference to a single one of us? Like, yeah, I've heard people time and time again say about the forced data ruling, isn't that great? And maybe it is, but often when people try to use it or say it, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Like, sex as a belief it doesn't mean anything. And I really don't want to discredit some incredible work and well-intentioned work. I'm just saying, for me, it's too slow. It doesn't work for me. It's really slow. And basically, it just seems to just take money away from everybody for not enough reward. Quite frankly, for me, it's not enough. There's not enough payback for the amount of times women have put their hands in their pockets. I mean, Alison Bailey, for example, £500,000 for her court case, which she lost. £500,000 for that. I think she's even asking for more money for appeal. She's retired, everyone. Like, I don't know what her court case does, but she's retired. And let me just say this. Only takes Trump getting in the White House, and America will be cured. Like, there are now people coming out of the woodwork. Everybody's realized this little money-making machine is going to stop. And that's all it takes. It just needs brave people in positions of power, or it needs us to do what? What is the fundamental foundation of every single thing? Every horrible, nasty violation of women's boundaries that happens by the state. Why has it happened? Because of the Gender Recognition Act in 2004. And why has that Gender Recognition Act had such impact? Because they were making all the changes before the Gender Recognition Act. The Gender Recognition Act just makes it easier to put his hands in your pants. For a man who's a pervert working in a hospital claiming to be a nurse to come in as a chaperone. Now, Sex Matters have talked about a pre-action letter. Can I just say, okay, so you win one over with this very expensive judicial review, with some very weighty backers, because there's a lot of people that believe in this sort of veneer of polite professional class, just all having conversations with each other. But let's say you get it to judicial review, and then, oh, well done, you get one over on British Transport Police, but not police. And each individual force can probably step back and not be associated with it. Why not sue the government? Like, why not do it to the government? It, like, for me, it just doesn't make sense. There are people in departments and governments getting paid shitloads of money who could just wipe this in a millisecond. Just wipe it all. It would just disappear. So that's why I'm for the Gender Recognition Act. Let me just say, over the last few years, and I've been in this game quite a long time. In fact, I've been in this game longer than women who dare to say the word. We have been fighting it a long time, when we know they were defending trans girls to use women's services, apps, and whatever else women are supposed to have of our own, and chastising women who were holding the line as late as 2020. So I just want to say, I've been in this game a long time. And there have been some women, incredible women, who've been doing it a lot longer than me. I don't dare to say we, unless I really was part of it. Anyway, that's just a minor thing that gets on my nerves. But I have had emails over the years from women working in border control. So women working in border force who have AGPs working with them. Women working in police forces who have AGPs working for them. Those women both witness to men violating the boundaries and bodies of women, and those women just writing to me and telling me about it and nothing getting done. I know women in hospitals. I know women, nurses, who say they all keep an eye on the AGPs on their ward because those men hang around like a bad smell, waiting for a chaperone to be called. And the only thing that underpins all of this, every last bit of this, is the Gender Recognition Act. The only real way to change any of this is to repeal the Gender Recognition Act. Now, I'm going to read something to you that's from 1999, and it's employment case law. And it is a tribunal that held that West Yorkshire's police refusal of an applicant for the post of constable by a trans woman amounted to discrimination contrary to the Sex Discrimination Act. Right? So, sex discrimination. These men, prior to the Gender Recognition Act, could use sex discrimination. Let me just tell you little bits of this. So, this is A versus West Yorkshire Police. So West Yorkshire Police have refused this constable, this man, from joining the force as a policewoman. The tribunal held that the respondent has discriminated against the application as part of the Sex Discrimination Act, and determination of remedy is adjourned, so that they had to decide. So the applicant is male to female transsexual who underwent gender reassignment surgery in May 1996. Applied to join the police force. In 1998, she was told they wouldn't employ him because he was transsexual, so he was a man. And the practical reason was advice received by the respondent that the applicant could not carry out the full range of duties of a police officer, in that she would not be able to conduct searches that went beyond outer clothing. Right? So this was all about the this statement all goes on about how that's the reason. And I think that's a great reason. In fact, I'd say because you can't have fetishes and you can't lie about things and belong to the police force, but there you go. I'm just going to tell you, because there's a decision then at the bottom. I just don't know what changed. So some of the cases that changed everything was Corbett and Corbett and R versus Tan, and this is the European Courts of Human Rights. So I want to just say to you all of you, each and every one of you, before the Gender Recognition Act actually solidified the right of these men, people were saying no. And do you know what the courts do? Do you know what the courts do? They discuss these cases as a matter of law, not a matter of practicality, not a matter of women's rights, but a matter of the individual's right. So what I would like to see is no more court stuff unless you're suing the arse off someone. Like, just no more. You've got the EHRC totally captured. And to be frank, they play a similar line as Sex Matters and as other groups involved in this kind of, we don't want to be mean. That's kind of the line. Everybody has rights. Everybody should have an equal right. Well, I don't believe that. I think men have rights and women have rights, and that's the only two people that have rights. And everybody fits into that category of male or female. And you have rights according to that. That's it. That's it. So a man joining the police force, well, number one, I do believe in discrimination. I think you should be able to say to someone, if you can't even come to terms with your own biological sex, you have no right to be in the police force. You have no right to be a teacher. You have no right to work in sort of healthcare environments, any position of responsibility. Like, fine, if you want to go and do that, these are the consequences. So we have all these cases then, we have all this case law that was built around men having access, violating the boundaries of women. And we have all those cases, and then everybody, all these men are just let in to wherever they want to be. So this is what I'm talking about. In this one, Sheffield and Horsham versus United Kingdom. This is the United Kingdom is still entitled to rely on a margin of appreciation to defend its refusal to recognise law transsexuals' post-operative sexual identity. Right, so that in 1998 we still had a right to say that a man couldn't be a woman. That all changed in 2004. So that all changed with the Gender Recognition Act. Now, if you want to see that disappear, and can I just say, people writing to me telling me to be kind can go do some things to themselves and have a whale of a time, but I don't listen. If you want to repeal the GRA, there's only one party that wants to do that, and that's a party of women. And I suggest, most kindly, that you join it, because this stuff is just going to get worse. And the reason it's going to get worse is because there are going to be more and more cases and places where these men are able to be invading our spaces. So let me just remind you, it was a few weeks ago, a woman rang in to tell me that a chaperone, when she was in hospital having an intimate exam, was actually a man. Now, it says here, so in 1984, Section 78 of the 1984 Act, which I assume is something to do with sex discrimination, relates to fairness and the rule of law. We doubt that a criminal tribunal would rule out the evidence of, for example, a controlled drugs find if only the circumstance was that the officer who found the drugs following a search of underwear of a woman was a transsexual. Yeah, because she wouldn't know. So this is what, and I've been reading this stuff all morning. What we are talking about is so this. Sorry, I'm just going to go back a bit. So this is all. This little bit here is. I probably should share it with you. Actually, let me share it with you so you can see what I'm referring to. This is why I just don't want to see another case. I just really don't want to see another case. It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. So here we are. I'll just make this bigger for you. Okay. So this is Sheffield and Horsham. And then we scroll down to these bits. These are the sort of interesting bits, really. It is an indictable offence for any person to make an indecent assault on a woman. So what they've done is they recognised, they know this argument before the Gender Recognition Act, before allowing these men to search women suspects, they recognise that it's indecent assault. They're even talking about this in this particular case. And to constitute an offence, there must be an assault. This is a hostile act, compulsion, a threatening gesture, or a threat to use violence. Assault is per se is an offence, blah, blah, blah. In the submissions to the tribunal, the respondent argued to have committed the applicant to undertake searches of women would have to expose the respondent to potential civil actions, criminal allegations, criticism, were condoning illegal actions, blah, blah, blah. The tribunal explored with counsel and the extent of expression might reasonably object. Inspector Spencer told us that a Muslim woman prisoner assisted with the shower toilet facilities by a transsexual would be offended. Yeah, no other woman. Not if she was an atheist. She'd love it. We accept and acknowledge there are many people in society who have religious, cultural and moral objections to be searched by a man. Whilst respecting these objections, we don't think they are contemplated by the expression might reasonably object. So they discuss it and they dismiss it. They discuss what women might object to, and then they dismiss it. Look at this. Thus, we have the applicant, a person who presents as a woman. If she is treated as she wishes in all respects as a woman, nobody would be any the wiser. So that man can assault women at will. And remember, this is in 1998. This is the year I met my husband. This is not a year that any of us knew that men could stick their hands down your pants if they so desired and if they found a good enough reason, and it wouldn't be considered sexual assault, especially if they decided to hide the whole incident and you would be none the wiser. So it's about proportionality. In our judgment, the risks to the respondent in permitting the applicant as a transsexual to carry out the full range of duties are so small that to give effect to them and denying the applicant access to the office of the constable would be wholly disproportionate. So this is in March 1999. Don't tell me this is new. This is brand new, ladies. It's not brand new. It's really bloody old. Let me Jonathan, for interrupting me. Let's have a look at what I said about this in 2018. And in that point, I had no idea that this was happening in 1998. So I didn't know. Now we all know. And actually, maybe we just revisit these particular cases. I don't quite know how that works, but no more money for massive court cases. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So a few women who enjoy the thrill of court cases can feel good about? No more.
No, but why is it your business?
Because it affects women in law and the way we live. It absolutely does.
It doesn't affect anyone.
Of course it does.
How does it affect us?
So, for example, if I was arrested today by a police officer who still had a penis but said he was a woman, he's allowed to intimately search me. Now, the reason he's allowed to intimately search me is because a transgender police officer who said he was a woman took the police to court to have that right, because he said it was discriminatory
but if
for
he
him not to be able to.
But if he believes he's a woman,
You're saying that doesn't make him a woman?
That's saying I have to indulge in that belief also, and I don't.
No, but why is it your business?
So look, I just want to be really, really clear with everybody, because I feel that look, lots of people have forged different paths and have drawn different lines, much different to me, and I wish them, you know, I respect them all. I think it's great. I don't agree with this strategy of endless hundreds of thousands of pounds to court cases. I just don't agree with it. I think it's a waste of money, and I don't think it achieves very much. I mean, I just can't believe I just can't. It's just too slow. It's too slow. We need to sue the arse off people so that it's too expensive for police to continue to discriminate against women and allow us to be sexually assaulted just so some fucking man at work feels like he's validated. Anyway, that's how I feel about all of this. I hope this makes sense to you. Like I said, it's strategy that I fundamentally disagree with. And I think it's kind of it's an ivory tower strategy to consistently go for these sort of wonderful judicial reviews that take forever and so much money. And the only people that make anything out of this are the lawyers. So I just don't want to see any more of them. I think they're just a waste of money. I think they're a waste of your money. I'll tell you what is a good bit of your cash if you'd like to spend some. Buy some merch. Help me get to Brazil so we can help women over there who genuinely have a court case where one of them might end up serving 8 years in prison. 8 years in prison for saying a man is a man. Anyway, if you can keep speaking the truth and fundamentally understand that these men have been working on this for decades, behind closed doors, totally behind the curtain. They've been working on this for decades so that they can invade your spaces. If you can keep speaking the truth, even though sometimes you feel maybe it's a little bit abrasive, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Lose.
Fly. It's no use. He sees her. He starts to shake and cough, just like the old man said goodbye now. Because don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so